All right, Angel.
Yeah.
Angel, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from South Dakota.
What city?
Actually, Rosebud, South Dakota. It's the Sioux tribe,
Oh, wow. Right. It's all,
Lakota. Yeah.
a lot of Sioux up there. Tell me about your family growing up. You had mom and dad?
I had a mother. My father was never around. He actually got locked up when my mother was pregnant with me, because it was back in the days of the goon squad and all that, you know. And my dad was kidnapped, and he he stabbed a white man to get out of it. You know, he was locked in the basement, and he got away from it. He stabbed the dude. So they sent my dad to prison for that. So my mom ended up marrying a Mexican guy, and we went to Mexico till I was 5, and then we came back to Indiana after that. My first language was Spanish, Mexican.
Really?
I couldn't tell you anything now.
And where in Indiana did you grow up?
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute.
Yeah. And my mom was
The murder capital of the U.S. at one point.
at one point, yeah. Yeah. That was at the time when I was involved in the murder. One of them.
Really?
Yeah, my boyfriend. He was like a prospect between the Cloven Hooves and Diablos, right? And so
Motorcycle gang?
yeah, motorcycle gangs.
Diablos.
And the girl that he was with, Darla, he's married to, she was messing around with his best friend, which ended up killing his mom and dad. And he ate his mom's brains. It's all crazy. All this is in one time.
He what?
The dude killed his mother and dad because his father was molesting him the whole time, and he ate his mom's brains. Say that so he'd be with him all the time. His name was Frank Street. I'll never forget it. I was involved with him for a moment too, you know. And his best friend had me, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, and my ex-boyfriend shot another friend of his that was sleeping with his wife. It's a big triangle, and shot him in the head with a sawed-off M14 and cut him in half with a chainsaw. And then he called me up, said he was gonna kill himself. And I went out there with my daughter, and I cleaned it up off the floor. It looked like 2 5-gallon buckets of chicken livers was dumped on the floor. And
So hold on. So tell me that story in a sentence or two. Again.
I don't know. He killed his best friend. You know, shot him in the head, right here, the bullet hole right there.
Right.
He cut him in half and stuck him in a barrel of acid. And then I had to clean it up, the brains and guts off the floor.
You cleaned it up with what?
With Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean and bleach.
But a body's heavy and big.
Well, the body was in a barrel of acid. On top of he was a big guy, like 300 pounds, and by his torso was right here, and his legs were right here coming up. His shoes were sticking up, Nike shoes. I'll never forget it. On top of his shoes had one of that plywood, you know, that's made with the compressed, you know, wood, whatever. On top of that, and on top of that was a lazy boy recliner to push him down as he melted in the acid.
Jesus.
And by the time we left the morning left, he was melted enough to where he closed the lid on it and taped it up and left it there in the front porch. And then we hid out for about a week or so, and then the police caught him in the cab. I was gone. I went in with him, and then I seen him taking off in the cab, and I had to jump in. There's helicopters following me and everything, but somehow I got away from him, and I managed to get in the back seat of the car with him. And it was deputy sheriff that was driving, and the sheriff pulled up behind him. And the deputy sheriff put out his gun to show him, you know, and it was like, stop. And Sean put out his gun and said, no, keep going. And they were fighting with their guns. And then I was just freaking out. The next thing you know, I heard a boom and his head just dropped and blood went down both sides of his neck. He survived, though. He was in one of them halo things for a while. That was like the most tragic thing.
So back to your childhood. What was your childhood like?
My childhood was like, my mom was always gone. You know, when she was around, she was with truckers and shit. And she'd be sleeping with guys in the same bed with me, you know. And they play with me while they were fucking my mom. And she overdosed on fentanyl.
So there was some sexual abuse when you were a kid?
Yeah. That's not what bothers me, though. Losing my mom bothers me. She was the only one that had my back.
When did she pass away?
When
did you lose your mom?
I just came out here to California when I lost her. She just got her fucking fentanyl patches back from the doctor. She lost her leg because we were changing the light bulb in a new apartment I got. And I said, Mom, get on my hips, because she was like 5'2". Thank you. She climbed up on my hip, And the chair went, it was one of them outdoor chairs, you know, the plastic ones. The leg gave out and went down and my knee landed on her ankle. And it just crushed her ankle to powder. And so she ended up losing her leg. She was an amputee. And she got hooked on the pain medication. And she was getting fentanyl patches from the doctor. And I would get them too. I got 100 milligrams and she would get the 75 milligrams. And we used to cut them in strips and eat them. But I wasn't there. Every time before, you know, I was there. I could get it at the hospital, you know. I wasn't there.
How far did you go in school?
I got my GED. I didn't get far. I was pregnant by the time I was 16. Had my daughter.
How many kids do you have?
I have two. I have a daughter and I have a son.
And you raised them?
No, half-assed. Grandparents, you know. Took a lot of doing it, thank God. My daughter was there with me when I cleaned up the mess, you know. I almost did 60 years in prison over that. And I almost lost my daughter. But my mother stood up, you know.
Oh, you got prison time over that too?
I almost did. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, for my testimony. But I mean, I didn't snitch on him. You know, I didn't say anything that they didn't already know. They already knew that I didn't really that I cleaned it up, but they just wanted me to say that. I guess I don't know. I mean, they knew everything away from the other guys that went in and told everything. I guess they just I don't know. They knew I was 17. I was young. You know what I mean? And they were threatening me with that. They were threatening me 60 years in prison. And at first I wasn't going to say nothing, you know, and then they were telling me already that they knew that they already got the acid for it. They knew this person, that person, and this person, and they knew that I did this and that and this and that. And I'm like, you know, I was a kid, you know what I mean? So I told them what I did.
And drugs started for you when?
I'm sorry?
Drugs started for you when?
Oh, drugs started for me when I was I was doing crank back then. And
crystal meth?
Yeah, but they called it, no, it was crank back then.
What was it technically? How was it different?
It was powder. It wasn't crystals like it is now. You know, it was a powder substance. And I know the people used to come out here to California to get it. They come out here like the Orange County or whatever. And they come get it, you know. And we take it back home. And back home it's real expensive. But I don't know. I used to crank, you know. That was my first drug. Alcohol has always been my drug of choice, you know. I used to drink since I was...
So would you consider yourself an alcoholic or a drug addict? Or both?
I'm both.
You're both?
Both, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know what I'd give it. I mean, honestly, I don't want to be sober. I don't. You know, growing up was like, my grandparents had me a lot. We used to go out camping and shit when I was a kid. My uncles, I was raised with them, you know. They were like brothers to me. My mom she wasn't there. You know, I'm getting close till I had a baby. That's when we got close.
Were you using when you had your kids?
Yeah. I drank with both my kids. I craved weed with my son. Craved it. I had to have it. Me, I was an alcoholic. That was most of the thing. I didn't get on opiates till I married my husband. As soon as I married him, he got me out here, and on our wedding day, he fucking on our honeymoon, he decides, you know, I'm a commodity. Is what he told me. I was a commodity. And he started whooping my ass, telling me, "Go make his money. Go make my money, bitch." I stayed with him for 7 years. I'm sorry, I'm emotional, damn it. Seven years I stayed with him because I married him, right? I'm like, I gotta be loyal to my husband, right? He's still out here. He's a piece of shit. Sorry, but he is. I never thought about prostitution. You don't do it back home, you don't, you know what I mean? You just don't. You never do it. New Year's Eve, we're in a tent out here. It's 5 Mexicans coming in, like 5 Mexicans, they're in a tent, right? And we're smoking crystal. Smoking, and once I was hunching my leg, and I'm like, "Get off me, dude." And my husband's like, "No, let him do what he wants." So he left me in the tent with these 5 guys. Where he's up front, smoking the pipe. I can see his shadow. Sorry. Please shut it off.
How'd you end up homeless?
My husband, we was in Vegas at first, and we ended up in Vegas. We were never homeless because I could hustle out there. It's just so money's easy to get out there. Out here I panhandle. I panhandle there too, but it was easier to get. Out there you gotta dress up to panhandle. Here you gotta look like a bum for getting money. And I don't know. He promised me all this shit, and my husband was a self-serving prick. He's all about himself. I hate to say that, but I hate that man. I do. But anyway, I've been out here 11 years on the streets. I just got and the people I hang around with, I don't hang around with fucked up people. You know what I mean? I hang around with decent people. I mean, anybody that knows me will tell you, I'm not a bad person. I don't hang with them people. So I don't walk the streets to prostitute, nothing like that. My husband turned me out. He did, and there's people from the past that I see every now and then for money, And there's one particular guy that I see all the time, but he's good to me, It's like, and I don't go on the streets. You won't see me on the host show, nothing like that, I panhandle for the most part to get my money. Mm-hmm. And it sucks. It's humiliating, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, you got to survive.
So you're using
I use fentanyl every day, and it's like all day. It's just a straight every day. All day I got to hustle to get it,
So you're using fentanyl?
Yeah.
Crystal meth?
The fentanyl, and I use crystal with it. I drink every day. So to get that, plus I got a cat and a dog, I take care of them. Their needs come first, so I got to make sure they got their food, litter, everything they need, you know what I mean? Then there's my needs next,
You don't do crack, though?
No.
Good for you.
I used to smoke crack. I used to smoke crack when I got with when me and my husband first came out here. That's how it was. He would send me on a trick for $20, and would get the money. And then I'd buy a crack rock, right? And he'd do most of it, save me like a little tiny. Oh, I used to hate that shit. Such a greedy bastard. But no, I hate crack. I do. I started smoking it when I got with this guy, New York. I got with him. He was smoking it, so I smoked it with him. We smoked a lot of crack. A lot. Every 7 days we get one free. We do like twice a day. And a lot of crack.
So this lifestyle, living in a tent on the street,
it was just
doing drugs, drinking, prostitution, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just a lifestyle. Out here it's a lifestyle. Like back home you don't do that shit, but out here it's just a way of life.
Yeah.
You do what you gotta do to survive.
You get
get
depressed.
by. It's very depressing, But what do? You gotta hold your head and you gotta keep going.
Yeah. Makes you strong, right?
Yeah. My animals keep me going.
What do you think led you into this situation?
My childhood.
Yeah.
I married him for all the wrong reasons. My family never accepted me because I'm Native American. My family was very prejudiced. God damn it. Fucking sissy Lala. Then everybody's gonna see me crying like a little bitch. Fuck. No, my family never accepted me. They never did. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I feel stupid.
Did you ever feel loved in your life?
Never. I've never. I was just thinking that on the way here. I'm like, I've never. Damn it. I never felt love. Know what it is. I've loved. I never got loved back. They've all just used me for something. That's why now I don't even think about men or sex or anything. I'm just like, what for,
What are you afraid of now?
Dying alone. I don't want to die alone.
How old are you?
47. I've already had 3 mini strokes. My pancreas shut down on me 3 different times. It's scary. I got cirrhosis and hepatitis C, and I drink. I'm an alcoholic. My liver hurts. What do? You just keep going, you know?
Yeah.
Day by day. My animals. It's what keeps me going. God damn. I'm sorry.
Do you ever
Fuck.
talk with your kids?
Huh?
Do you ever talk with your kids?
I haven't talked to my daughter in a couple of years. I miss her. There's a fine line between being a mother and a best friend, but me and my daughter were really close, you know? I was
If
touching
you could change one thing about your childhood, what do you think it would have been that may have helped you?
about my childhood.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I love my mother, you know? I still want the same mom.
It's funny how we love these parents who don't really treat us the way we should.
Right. I want different. Maybe I want my dad around. Maybe. I don't know, but I heard my brothers and my sister from my dad, my half brothers and sister, they said their life wasn't that great either. Growing up. They said dad was psycho.
Did you ever have any examples in your childhood of any loving relationships?
My
Your
grandparents.
grandparents.
Yep. My grandma and grandpa were the best. My grandma actually, she had Parkinson's disease. And she laid in her bed in the nursing home for months. Didn't move, you know, wouldn't move her eyes, her hands, nothing. And then I was on Facebook with my family and my niece, and she told me, or my cousin actually, but I call her my niece. She told me that grandma was going, and my grandma heard my voice, and grandma started moving her eyes and her mouth. You know, she got excited, tried to talk, so I told her that I was good and I was safe. And you don't have to worry about me no more. I was away from my husband, you know, which that part was true, you know. But she started moving around, you know, just heard my voice. I know that pissed my uncles off, because my uncles hate me.
Is this the lowest point of your life right now?
Pretty much, yeah. But, you know, I found relationships out here way stronger than my blood family, you know. I got people out there, God damn it. I hate crying like this, damn it. I got people out there that really care, you know. Yeah, the true friends out here that I never thought I would have.
Really?
Which is amazing. Because they say all these people, oh, we're all scumbags, you know. That's not true. We're not. Just never had a chance. Shit, dude, I'm sorry. God, I hate crying like this.
It's okay. One more question, we're done.
Okay.
What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Forgiveness. Forgiveness. You carry that hatred in your heart. It just wears you down. It does. You gotta forgive and you gotta keep loving. Keep going on. You do. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
All right, Angel. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Sorry for crying so much.
No. It's all right.
Damn it. Still on the shit.